Splitting Hair's free salon education podcast starts now. Featuring Matt Beck, Christina Cavalcanti, Brian Hare, Dre Bolin, Thaddeus Bolin, and Danielle Downs. Today's episode is powered by MinervaBeauty.com.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Splitting Hairs. This is some episode, but it's
Splitting Hairs.
January 17th of 2018. Thank you to everyone that is joining us live on the show. We really appreciate it. Start posting your comments. Start posting your questions in the comments below. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We're probably going to be most likely to see your questions on YouTube because we're watching those. So if you're watching on Facebook, run on over to YouTube. It's fscyoutube.com. Also, I want to say thank you to MinervaBeauty.com. They are the sponsor of the show, and they're also... You making sure it's your cup? I made sure when we were pouring.
Checking.
Yeah. They were all washed, though, so that's good. Thank you to Minerva Beauty. We actually have some pictures of our salon that we're going to share with you guys because a lot of you guys have been asking what the new salon looks like. So those of you that haven't been seeing the pictures on social media, I want to talk about them and also want to talk about the equipment that's in them for Minerva as well. So if you guys have any questions about that. I'm here with Drea Boland, Brian Hare, Danielle Downs, Christina Cavalcanti, and Thad Boland. Thad has not had this job since episode 2, but Thad has...
I got sound effects.
Are we going to remember why you haven't had this job since episode 2?
So
Go back and watch that gem.
I was going over with Thad earlier today, like how to do it and stuff, because it's obviously this is a little bit more advanced than episode
Buttons
2.
on an iPad.
Right.
The iPad sound effects.
Yeah, and he was like...
the sound effects are bigger, greater, and louder than ever.
So I show him how to play the intro song, right? And he's like, from across the room, he goes, I've realized that when you mix 2 songs together, it sounds really good. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh no.
Thad just discovered the mashup. And this is great.
Well, I was specifically talking about 2 songs that are on the computer.
Yeah, it's the only 2 songs. He mashed them right together. And that's a hairdresser thing, though. Like, we get a new product, it's for this, and you use it completely a different way.
Oh,
so,
hold on.
Oh, we have to
I
find
found
out
a
the
really
how
good
to.
quote on that I loved,
okay.
and I saved it because I thought it applied to what we do. Oh, that's not it. That's Britney Spears. There it is. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Ooh,
Okay,
Pablo
that's a good one.
Picasso.
Hey, Chris, there's no
Yeah.
video. I think there we go. Sorry about that. That's a good one. I think No, Thad's got it. Thad has a lot of jobs now.
He's like an octopus.
You guys were up.
No, you're fine. So I think that's a really good thing because a lot of people break the rules before they fully understand the product. Because I remember when we were in education, we're going to talk about this stuff in a little bit, but when we were in education, we would get together as educators. They would present us with a new product, and right away people were trying to alter the way that you use it, and not realizing that they're just trying to teach you how to use it first, and not saying go be creative until you master the product. So
Right.
I think that's a good saying, and I think it's a good lesson to those of you guys that are out there and are in school to master the basics and the fundamentals first, and then get creative, because you're not going to be able to really be creative. You'll end up the sword guy lighting hair on fire on Facebook.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like I know things that are more predominant about the product than the people who actually created it.
Well, that's a.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I
I was
don't,
like,
I don't support.
wow, Thad, you really went for it.
I
there.
don't support that statement at all.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to bring up, I want to show the picture of the salon. So you guys work in it every day for the most part.
True story.
What? Tell me about your thoughts since you started. When did we got in there? November.
The very end of September.
Oh yeah. Okay. The
It's
very.
like the last couple days.
It's a
of
blur
September.
for you.
It was okay. So so we've been in there for a few months. What's the difference?
I mean, really, there's barely any.
About 4,000 square feet.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think what I love about this space is that we've got it's got a really nice older feel to it. Like there's really great craftsmanship in the construction of the house. And then using this furniture, we were able to have that really cool juxtaposition of like modern and cool mixed in with the rustic and classic at the same time. And it just lends itself to just like every single client has said, and not even on the first time, every single one has said every time they come in, just how much they like the feel of this place.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I love coming into this every day.
I agree too. It's like, when we were coming up with ideas, it was very difficult because you would walk into that room and it would be full of wood. It was a wood ceiling, wood floors, like everything. It was painted kind of like a yellowy color to the walls. It was a yoga studio, and
I used to do yoga there.
Right. And so when Christina, we started talking about different ideas, and Christina was talking about getting that color chair, and those are, I'm sure that color chair is not a super popular color on Minerva's website. I would assume it's not the norm to get it, but when she said we were going to get that chair, I was a little like, I couldn't even really picture it.
And she was telling me, I was like, how is that going to look nice?
I know.
Like
so,
gray
and then
floors
I could
and
tell all of
brown.
your
And
things.
then
I
I
liked
when I
the
walked in,
concept.
I was like,
oh, okay, cool.
yeah.
That's
all
okay.
right.
You had the vision for it, Christina. You
Yeah,
knew.
she knew. So I think it's just really cool that it all came together so well. And Minerva, the thing I like about Minerva is that the furniture is affordable.
Mhm.
It's not lots and lots of money. And then everybody can customize their stuff. So those mirrors are also from Minerva. And we looked all over the internet trying to find double-sided mirrors that we could hang that were heavy enough.
That didn't
Yeah.
move.
Because a lot of stylists that I've talked to that actually have hanging mirrors on chains, they're not heavy. So you guys know a little bit of a blow dryer.
Yeah.
If it's a lightweight mirror, it goes swinging all over across the room. So the good thing is it's a nice heavy quality mirror. And then Christina actually kind of customized it by painting some gold on there, and just made it our own, but it was affordable as well. So just really cool. I think the color bar came from IKEA, and that was something that I had a broken foot. Christina put it together by herself as well. So it's one of those things, like literally people think you have to spend so much money opening a salon. And even though this place is a more expensive place, opening the salon wasn't that crazy. A lot of people are like, you need $100,000, $200,000 to open a salon. It's just not realistic when you're a smaller salon. So even
What do you
though
guys think about the color cards?
I like the color cards because there's a lot of times where I will have more than one thing going on. So it really, I don't know if you can see them in the picture or whatever, but my favorite thing about it is that there's little like recessed holes for each of the color bowls. So
yeah,
it's great when I am doing balayage. I'm not chasing the bowl all the way around, pushing it when I'm trying to like scrape that thicker consistency color out of the bowl. Like it just holds perfectly still.
Right.
And it's great because I can have 4 different things
Well,
at
and
once.
I like it because there is the space for the bowls, like you said, but also you're not taking up space on the tray where you want to have your bali wrap or your foils or anything like that. There's spaces for everything, so it flows a lot nicer.
right.
Do you guys want to tell them a little bit of where you store things and how you work in your stations? Because they have some questions about that, just looking at the picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, what I love for me personally, like if you're looking at that picture, my chair's the one that you're like looking at the mirror.
Mm.
Like I wanted that one so I could see out of the skylight. And my stuff is in the right middle drawer of those 6 on the counter.
Yeah.
So what I really like is for each and every guest, I completely reset and I put everything back from the blow dryer to the scissors. So every single person that comes in is getting the feel of, the sun is rising and setting for them. Like I'm setting up for them. I'm breaking down after them. And I think it just adds a little bit. I think it brings it up a notch to kind of match the kind of service that a room of this aesthetic kind of requires.
Yeah.
well, and also by taking out individually for each guest that you have, you eliminate the clutter that always builds up at a station.
Yeah.
Just because people get busy, you don't always put stuff back right away. But by not having an actual station, we really removed that clutter, so it looks cleaner throughout the day versus.
Yeah. It was weird as hell at first because
That's
It
what I was
was
going to
so
say.
that was a
strange.
lot of extra steps, like to go back and forth for every comb, every clip, every
Yeah.
scissor. But I knew if I trained myself to do it, it would become second nature. And by now it has. Like I'm just so used to it. And it's great because, now what we used to have for our color bar, you had about this much space to mix color and like someone's food was here and like there was just so much, and now like I can lay down on that color bar and mix my cola
Right.
my color if I want to.
I've seen them do it.
Yeah, there's just space for everything because we're not on top of each other anymore.
Yeah.
But
And
as somebody that's new, and obviously I wasn't in the other space, so I can't add in that respect, but I love how the color bar itself, everything is compartmentalized because you have like these little tiny drawers inside of the bigger drawers. So like there's a little slide out just for, the mixing stuff. Then there's the one under it that has all of the brushes. Like you can just find everything so much easier.
yeah.
And like Brian said, just keep it a lot neater. And people like to see that as he said, you're resetting each time. And because we go through, we clean everything afterwards. It's a fresh brush. It's not like it's wadded up with a bunch of hair.
Right.
And they're looking at it like, oh, you put that on me.
It's not clearly sitting there that just got done being used on the last person. Like you went to the drawer and took out a brush and got ready for that.
And we went back and forth with this because we had that kind of system a while ago. Like 6 years ago, we had that, clean the brush after it was used or whatever. Then we got the stations from Minerva that had a lot of drawers in it. So everybody kind of
So we,
had
like,
their
needed
stuff.
something to put in them.
Yeah. So everybody had their brushes, and it's just a reality that happens when you can store something away quickly.
Right.
That
Hide
it's
it.
that it's going to become a brush with hair on it, or the it's not going to get cleaned out as much. So
Well, because when it's only your problem,
Yeah.
if it doesn't bother you, then you let things go. But
Right.
I got to put that brush
So
back
true.
because there's all these other people that are going to reach in that same drawer possibly for that. So it
Yeah.
kind of forces you to clean it.
So in the color bar, we supply the brushes, and then you guys can go in and get them and make sure that it's a clean brush and all of that. So I just think getting back to this salon got us back to those systems, and I think it was a big transition doing that. Like you said, getting used to it. But also, I just think that getting back to doing those systems and making sure that we clean up after every guest, and then it's kind of resetting, like you said, it worked out really well. And then the next room that we have is the parlor room. We're not going to go through every room in the building today on this, but I wanted to talk about the parlor because Thad spends the majority of his time in there.
I do.
And it's also something that we're trying to grow as a company, more of a branded, the parlor, which has the Barber chairs. These also came from Minerva, and the stations came from Minerva as well. So I'll make sure after we finish the podcast, I'll add the links to all these different products in the description of the video. But this is I know that you guys all spend time in there.
Mhm.
You've all cut hair in there. So let's talk about that for a minute. Thad, do you want to talk about your favorite things for a sec, and then?
Well, I definitely like the mats. Like the mats are great because it's
Thad.
nice and easy on the knees. It also with how the station's set up, it allows my client to like check out the football game or see like what's going on in the football world while I'm cutting their hair.
Which is very popular right now
It
in
is.
Philadelphia. Yes.
It's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
deal.
But yeah, everything's like really easy. Like I had the drawer set up so that way like the clippers are like right there. I have the metallic guards, which the stations are metal on the top, so they clip right on there. And
Cool.
yeah.
So the other thing that I like is that like we call it the parlor. We didn't want to call it a barber shop because we really do want it to be a short hair room. So women can go in there, and Dad does a lot of women's pixie cuts. He actually has probably the biggest pixie cut clientele I've ever seen.
I would second that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of women that get their hair cut in there, but you also have a lot of women that get their hair cut in the salon, and I have a lot of guys that get their hair cut in the salon, and I think Brian and Drea are the same in that, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of let people choose the environment that they want, and that's the goal with the two rooms.
Yeah, I've had a couple of guys Some just prefer the salon, like they just like that space.
Yeah.
And I have one or two that only want to go to the parlor, and then there are some that I just ask. I'm like, "Where do you want to go today?"
Yeah.
And then grab my stuff out of my drawer and haul it on over.
Yeah, and I bounce back and forth because I cut women's hair and men's hair pretty much at the same time. So, like, if I'm coloring a woman's hair in the salon, then I'll bring the guy to the parlor. And then it's almost like I'm double booking, but you would never know because I just kind of go back and forth from room to room. So,
Do you guys feel that the barber chairs are too high on their lowest setting of these? Somebody has a different brand.
no, not at all.
No, I haven't noticed
Do you
that
feel
at all.
that, Thad?
I haven't seen it. I do have a couple like really tall clients, but I haven't had an issue. I actually think that most salon chairs are too low, so
Yeah.
it might be.
Well, and the other thing with the barber chairs, the only thing I ever notice if I have a short guy in there and his neck is basically where the headrest is, so I'll remove the headrest. It comes right off.
Yeah, but
and
I
I
think that
set
they
it
do
aside.
that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because like that would definitely be embarrassing. Like if you had to have like a grown up like sitting on like one of those little
The
kitty
booster thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's like
You must be this tall to enter the parlor.
I've never had one problem with it being too short, but I've definitely, I take the headrest off with some of my guys so I can get, underneath. But
I feel like one of the things that I have changed about how I do men's cuts in there versus normally, I feel like I'm further away from the mirror. So I stopped using the mirror so much for maybe like checking just as a check, but not like I definitely find myself being much more into like their head and what's going on while I'm doing it.
okay.
Does that make sense? What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say?
Well,
Like,
I mean-
rather than depending so much on the mirror, I'm depending more on like what's right in front of me and then just kind of checking myself in the mirror
Yeah.
versus like just going through the motions, looks fine in the mirror, blah, blah, blah. Like I find myself more involved.
Well, and that's the whole point of how we put the mats. Like when we first set it up, originally we had the mats behind the chair, kind of so you would stand facing the mirror. And then the whole point is so you have the guys kind of facing out, watching the TV, talking. Like the salon is a very, obviously there's talking that happens in there, but the salon is, a relaxing place as well as talking. In the barbershop, it's relaxing, but it's also, the guys are
More
talking
laid
back and
back.
forth. Yeah. And so, I mean, they're both the same in certain ways, but I think there's a lot more one-on-one conversation with the guys both sitting in the chair, talking about the sports game that's on the TV or whatever. Just seems to be kind of a cool environment, I guess.
It's always funny when there's two guys in there and they start asking me questions about what I think is going on in football. I'm like, touchdowns,
Yeah.
field goals.
Well,
Wow.
even just walking from the salon floor over to the wash house, anytime that any of the new female guests come in and they see it, they're like, oh my God, my husband would love this, or
Yeah.
my boyfriend. So just the look of it looks inviting to a lot of people.
Right.
And I know for me, even just seeing the chairs themselves, I was like, I've never wanted to do straight edge shaves, but now I want to learn how to do that just because of these cool ass chairs.
Yeah, we're actually we're in the process of figuring that out right now because
I actually just bought a new razor too.
you did?
Yeah, it's from a company called Black Widow, which is probably going to surprise a lot of people that know me, that I bought something that has a spider on it.
That's probably yes. It doesn't. That.
No. Like I don't want anything to have spiders on it.
Oh really?
Yeah, no.
So I guess you have to
He's
like.
petrified of them.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
yeah,
I was like, I
see,
think I know you
Oh.
decently well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah, no,
you had
I'm,
such
I'm the one
arachnophobia.
who, if you see a spider and it runs behind the fridge, and if it's a big enough spider, you're burning the house down.
You know what? That all makes sense now because Dad was flipping out about behind our salon is like a whole jungle gym of like workout
Oh,
equipment
yeah,
for like
that's true.
outdoor stuff. And Dad saw a spider in there,
I
and
saw a brown recluse.
he said, "I know." He's like, "It's a brown recluse," and
There
he
was
And
w-
then
three of
he
them.
was going around. He's like, "There's so many spiders back." I'm like, dude, who cares? It's the woods.
it's the woods. Like there's a lot of spiders.
Chupacabras back there. Who cares about some spiders?
Oh, I don't care about the chupacabras.
I know. Again, until this
Bad.
moment, I didn't
Yeah.
know.
No,
It's
that I
all
could
making
now-
sense.
All the pieces
Yeah.
of the puzzle are
Yeah,
forming.
I have a feeling you're gonna wish I didn't know that.
I'll cut your hair off.
All right, so I hope you guys like the look of the salon. We'll share more. I also,
Wait till you see the bathroom.
yeah, the bathrooms are
kidding.
great.
No, it's. I'm joking.
We also went from having one bathroom that you could barely fit in to having three good sized bathrooms. So
Yeah.
it's just a big difference, but you know, it's great, and we've been working in it now since October. Apparently. All right, so now we want to get into some questions. So Danielle's new to the show. She was on an episode back in the day, went over some different hair, had some people ask questions. Now this is our 5th episode of the year or
I
something.
don't even know what day it is.
I'm not sure, but
It's
Danielle
one of those.
has been getting some questions about transitioning from one salon to another and just some different things. So why don't we'll just answer a couple of those questions now.
Okay, so the first question, I don't see the name up here, but it basically, she said, "Good evening, Danielle." She's a big fan of your work. Also happy to see that you've joined the team of Free Salon Education, as they were a large part of my improvement in my journey to becoming a better stylist. I'm reaching out because I would like to know, do you have any advice for stylists starting out in a new salon? I want to do haircuts and colors, but I think when people look at me, they only assume that I do natural hair and sew-ins, and I want to break out of that mold. Was it hard for you to get that first initial client? I'm having a hard time getting the ball rolling. We are in a very populated area, but it just seems harder to get walk-ins, which is what I need to create content to post on my social media.
Okay.
Okay, so that was from C3, I don't know, C3 Saint Lavi, something like that.
Maybe that's why I didn't put
Probably
that.
why Christina didn't say it.
Yeah. But she had asked that, and I had showed it to Matt and Christina.
Oh, she's on. Sorry.
Oh,
She
hey.
Hi. Cool.
Answer your question live.
Well, one of the reasons that I had told Christina and Matt about it was because I know that feeling. Like, it's kind of weird when you go in, you're the new person, but also you literally stick out as different from everybody else. So it's not so much that
I
you're,
don't know what you mean.
oh, good.
He blends right in.
But it's just about the courage to put yourself out there, know your craft, and just have the confidence to let somebody try you out. Even if they have their reservations, and you can kind of feel that tension in people when they're a little bit nervous and you're nervous, but you just rely on what you know, and your craft takes over and you impress them. Like yesterday, for example, I did one of the local servers here at a restaurant, and she's complaining about how her curly hair, she can never find a hairstylist that can get the curl right and also remove enough bulk for her. So we had talked her into it collectively as a team.
Yeah.
We
So-
harassed her.
Yeah, basically. So she comes in. Yeah, she knows me from going in a couple of weeks now, but she's still nervous. I'm new. I'm about to chop off her hair. So by the end of it, she's literally in every mirror. Also, our product wall that has mirrors on it. She's checking herself out in that, like, oh my God, it's finally the way that I want.
Oh, that's
You
awesome.
delivered. So again, it's just putting yourself out there and seeing what happens.
Okay.
Tell your
Awesome.
other story. With
What
the
other-
"you're gonna do my hair." I like that one.
Well, one of my very first new clients here, she came in for a blow dry. She asked for somebody that is experiencing curly hair, and she wanted just smooth, even though she had a keratin. So she comes in, looks at me, and says, "Oh, you're doing my hair?" And I said, "Yeah, that's what we do here. Come on back. Have a seat. Let's talk about what you want to do." By the end of it, we got to know each other.
Shit.
By the end of it, we got to know each other. We had a great time. Her boyfriend was with her. He's touring around the place like, "Oh my God, it's great in here. Can I have a beer?" We're like, "Sure, go ahead, have a seat." So they're like, "Oh, we're here all the time. We live in Jersey, but you know, we come here for vacation, all of that, and definitely going to be looking you up again."
Everybody in New Jersey got to win over. It's like a thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know you guys live in New Jersey,
we're
but
douche.
yeah.
We can be
I'm a
douchebags.
Southern boy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I think one of my favorite
Yeah,
things
okay.
about watching Danielle work is she's so relaxed behind the chair, but she just has this confidence that like shows through that she's in charge. She's got this under control.
Still waters run deep, Drea.
I know.
Thanks.
But like it's not in a bossy manner. It's just a very matter of fact. It's very like I would never argue with Danielle while she's doing my hair whatsoever. I would never even question whatever she was doing. She'd be like, I'm giving you a mohawk. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
She's
I'm
very
not
calm
Brian.
and informative.
Right,
Yeah.
very
I was gonna say,
calm.
You know,
I
and
did.
she knows what she's talking about. I think that makes
Mhm.
people feel comfortable
Right.
because she knows her shit.
And I think that that doesn't come from the fact that you've been doing hair for 15 years. That comes from the fact that you've been studying hair for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
We've been in education together. You know what you're doing. So, and it's just like everybody else, like that's the most important thing. It has nothing to do
Definitely.
with how many years. I've seen people doing hair for 25, 30, 40 years
Yeah.
that have not grown since they're 5 years into their career, So I think that no matter what the situation is, I see that like that is somebody that when
Somebody.
he is
the
somebody.
Wendy's.
when somebody comes in for Thad, I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not sure, I'm not sure what that experience is going to be like. But Thad is knowledgeable.
are you telling
And
me I'm a wild card?
I'm talking about like that. So we don't have like a very strict dress code here, right? We are
No.
pretty like open to letting people be themselves.
You have the most relaxed dress code that I've ever experienced in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I stick to your original dress code. We're all black.
I have a
That-
drop
You're
crotch
wearing a
pants
gray
on right
shirt.
now that I could literally
It's
hide a
faded black.
Volkswagen Beetle in.
yeah, but I
I could
think
probably swing in them.
because we wouldn't hire somebody that didn't have a way to be like if they dressed in a poor fashion and then didn't have a personality as well, then you just wouldn't work here. So I think that there's a lot to be said when you're just being yourself, you're being knowledgeable, you want to be great at hair, you have the best intentions for it. Then you have that chance to win people over, So
Absolutely.
Would you say like maybe if her salon would go out with her and
Why not?
and boost her up would help too? No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No,
Because
honestly,
the other day when
like
we were
you
out,
guys
we were,
know a lot of people. You've been here for 11 years.
yeah,
Christina knows just about everybody.
right.
She's like the personable little dynamo. Every time you go somewhere, she's flop. Like, oh my God, Christina! So she's pretty much like the gateway. And it's the first time for me that I've been at a salon where, well, actually first time in a long time since working with Brian, where, I want to go and hang out with my coworkers.
Right.
And, yes, we talk about hair afterwards, but we're still relaxing. We're hanging out. If people see us, they can obviously tell, like, okay, these people are interesting. What do you
They're
do?
special.
You're the creatives.
I get
How
that a
creative
lot.
are you guys? So people
Yeah.
will come to us, but just the way that you see us talking to each other on here, where we're saying, oh, I like how Matt cuts hair. I love how Drea cuts and Brian colors and Thad cuts
Does
men's
whatever.
hair. Like, just whatever anybody does, that's what we do when we're out.
Yeah.
So, again, it's not a
I
bad
wonder
thing.
if
Just with
like
fouler
her
language.
maybe the owners would give her free range of maybe discounting somehow to get
Well,
her
well, she-
pictures, her
But is it
portfolio
like,
built up.
Well, that's one of those things I feel like because she's got the right idea that she needs to build a portfolio to show off. Even if it's not something that like the owners want to do, like grab some friends, grab some people. Just if there's someone that you think
Yeah, like
is
if
like
you
something
know
that
is
you're missing
out of the box of what you normally are doing, invite them
or like
in.
right,
And
like you can do this, and you know that if you look at your portfolio or whatever Instagram, whatever you know what I'm talking about. If you look at it, this is what I'm missing. Like I'm
Mhm.
missing a blonde, or I'm missing a men's cut. Go
Even
just
mannequins,
find
maybe.
that person, or use a mannequin,
yeah,
and do your best work just to fill those gaps for yourself until you start getting the people that will just fill that for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like
yeah, like
going to the beauty supply
somehow
store, grabbing
get
some
that
stuff,
on your
and
Instagram page and
getting
let
your
it.
cousin's girlfriend's dog walker
And then
on the
just
weekend.
But to go back to what she had said, how she feels like people only look at her and see that she would do sew-ins or natural hair. To me, that's not a bad thing because those are specialized fields that, you
Good money.
really good money,
Right.
I saw
and a
good hair. I
loyal
wish I did
following.
that.
Really loyal. They're not going to bounce around like, where are you going? Because
For
I'm going
life.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And again, you have to be really knowledgeable to do that kind of hair. So to me, I wouldn't say that that's a bad thing. It's just most of the time, look at the times that we live in. it's not like people have been living in a cave and there's only one type. Like there's just,
Right.
straight hair. There's just curly hair. There's just whatever. Nowadays, you have these biracial and multiracial families. So when somebody comes in and says, "Oh, I want you to do my daughter's hair," I'm not going to assume that their daughter is going to look exactly like them. You don't know. So
Right.
you do have to be, knowledgeable and experienced, or at least willing to try all of those different kinds of styles. So the fact that she is going in and moving to a new salon and trying to broaden her horizons, I'm like, do what you do. But then let them know, like, hey, I do more. So if you know anybody else, refer them in. And she was saying that she's willing to do discounts and all of that stuff. So by all means, if that's what's going to work for you,
Right.
okay it with your manager first or your boss. But just keep doing what you're good at.
Cool.
That's how I feel about it.
Good deal. All right. I think we.
Is she satisfied? She's still on, Christina?
Oh no, yeah, she.
Okay, good.
Oh, which I just figured it out. That is actually c'est la vie.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Took me a
Salon.
minute. Slow on the uptake.
All right. And we have another one, right? Or
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's just one more, but it kind of is the same. Hi, I'm a stylist also, and I like to be versatile with the type of hair that I do. How do you get over that line to do different races? It seems like it's so hard to get that clientele for me. So, I mean,
So yeah, it's
That's
pretty.
going to be some work on
similar.
your part, honestly. I think with that, you're going to need to start to build your own reputation.
Pictures.
Like if
and
you're
whatnot.
worried about people looking at you and assuming you can't do something based on whatever, then you might need to start your own
Yeah.
buzz.
I think
with
it goes
that.
back to the Instagram thing or the portfolio thing.
Yeah.
Figure out.
Yeah.
Volunteer some of your time to create those gaps that you were talking about in your Instagram, and then you'll have a full portfolio of everything you do. And that's the way people are searching for salons now.
Well, and I even do that now with my own Instagram. Like if I have a new client and, I really want this, and they're like really nervous because they don't know me or they didn't find us through social media. They just like happened upon the salon. And, I don't know. And I'm trying to explain, like, don't worry, I get balayage like pretty well. And they're like, I don't know. Like I've had some really bad. All right, here. This is
Yeah.
all my work.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Pick one. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm doing
So
the
it's
same
good to
with
have.
the men's and women's short hair.
Yeah.
Do we feel good about that answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
sweet.
Okay. So a lot more fun. A lot more.
So much more.
This is the problem with doing this show at the end of the
Support,
day. I have nothing left in my brain. We have a lot more to do. We have games to play. Free Pong is back there. The wheel is back with the new logo on it.
Thankfully.
And
Oh.
your questions. So those of you guys that are watching live, if you would like to post a question, we will answer it live. There are a few.
Hello.
So we'll do those questions first, and then we'll do a few of the pre-planned.
Okay.
Christina.
Yeah.
The
It's
camera. Oh, there you go.
there. I am.
Matt's went down, but we're good.
Sorry, they all started going down. I was
So much to
sorry.
do at once.
All right. How about James? Or he said he's listening while driving. You guys are awesome. What do you
Be
like?
careful.
What do you like to use,
Watch
or
out.
what are your thoughts on base breaking?
Okay.
You got to ask Danielle about this one because having worked exclusively with Paul Mitchell since my birth as a hairdresser, there's never been any kind of like technical base break, so it's only ever happened accidentally when I didn't want it to, by mistake, and ended terribly.
Hot roots.
So it's like when I'm trying to tone a blonde and I like accidentally use 10 volume and then, the blonde looks gorgeous and now you have orange roots. That sucks. But I know that I actually, when I have had questions about this, have turned to Danielle because she uses the exact same color and has successfully been doing it.
And Danielle, can you, when you have a second, can you grab those? There's 2 base breakers right up there on that
Oh,
shelf.
I see. It says base break.
I can grab them.
So I've been using a couple as well. I've been doing some color videos with Joico, and we actually throwing Just throwing it at herself. I've been doing a couple of videos with Joico recently, and we had a guest artist come in, and she did some coloring as well, and she used these base breakers. And I'd never used a base breaker before, and I really liked the result because I think the thing was I didn't understand the purpose of it. But when you have the right client, you have somebody that you're just trying to pop one level and you're trying to do it really fast, these work really well. And the thing I like about it is there's a cool and a regular. So the fact that it has a cooler, it'll neutralize a bit as it's lifting that one shade. I really like it. So I've tried both of these. I like them. I would love to hear Danielle's thought because I've only used these on videos. I haven't used them on clients. So not that you've used these, but the ones that you have used.
Well, I've just used Paul Mitchell, the color for that. And just like Brian said, if you're trying to tone out a blonde and she's got a significant amount of root or she's pretty dark and you try to do that, yes, you're going to end up with pretty much copper hair. But I've noticed that the times that I've done a back-to-back foil and, just a very heavy weave, but I don't want, and the person wants it to be a little bit softer, not as harsh of a, high and low in between, then I've gone in with either like an NN or I've gone in with a CB and an N.
Okay.
In order to just give it that little bit of a softer tone to the blonde itself, but also to give it that base break.
So, like, when you do it, let's say this person's like a level 6. What are you doing? Like a 7?
If they're at a level 6, then yes, I'm doing about like a 7, sometimes an 8, depending
with
on where
what
I want
volume, on wet or dry, and when.
Always on wet hair. 10
I'm
volume.
literally learning right now, so I can do this tomorrow. So we're doing this together.
So help me understand this because it doesn't completely make sense to me. How long do you leave it on?
I watch it, so it'll be just like any
After
other
you
toner.
rinse the foils?
After I rinse the foils.
Okay.
And then just do one light shampoo. So
So
I'll
you
mix
rinse
up
the foils, one light shampoo,
Mhm.
then you apply your formula
Just to the roots?
on
Just
wet hair.
on wet hair. So depending on where that low light or that natural hair is, that's where I'm going to be applying to. So whether it's like a 1/2 inch, 2 inches, whatever, I'm applying it wet.
I do have a
Yes,
question.
yes,
I just
Mr.
need you to
Hair.
know that when you get to this period, I have a question.
Okay. So like I said, it's on wet hair. It's at the sink. And usually I'm going anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes, just like the directions say
Oh,
for
yeah.
with the toning.
Oh, there's directions. I've been doing it. I'm sitting here, well, whatever.
You just said you
Um,
got to learn the rules like a pro to break them like an
Okay,
pro.
so my
That's why
question.
we've never tried to break them on that.
I don't even know the rules.
Well, I found it out by accident, honestly.
Now,
But
my
it's
question.
only a couple of people, and I do notice that it is easier on level 6 and up. If you're trying to do it from level 6 and lower, it doesn't exactly work.
Oh, so
I
we're
don't
not
think
doing it that
anyone
way.
should
we're not
do
doing
that.
it on you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Like,
I was getting really excited.
I know. What was that's be a sandy blonde. No, my question. Okay, so that's great. 1/2 inch for the root, whatever. What about my balayage clients that I've let some of their natural grow down into the hair? Because I don't want to be toning that blonde with like a level 7. Because I'm not.
Well, that's what I
not
was
what
saying.
I'm doing.
The times that I've done it are with a back-to-back heavy weave.
So you're not base breaking anything that's beyond that. Like once it gets.
Past 1/2 inch.
my beard just got caught in the microphone.
I thought it was your
Oh.
teeth. Once
Okay.
you're so
No,
like
I missed
I
that.
thought you had like a static shot.
It ripped it out. I hope it was the gray one, whatever.
so we're not base breaking balayage lowlights, natural balayage lowlights.
Not
like,
that I have done successfully, no.
Okay.
Scott Tanner is saying that he never does base break on hair darker than a level 8, but that's just him.
I would
Hey.
agree.
That's
And
an
he
absolute
uses-
guaranteed success.
He uses Aveda color, but he breaks with equal parts 10N blue shampoo and 30 volume, 5 to 10 minutes wet.
Okay.
So I just wanted to.
So, and those of you guys, I've seen some people chatting on Facebook. Appreciate all the chatting, but we're going to stick. So if you guys want to ask a question, go to YouTube, which is
Christina's screening him.
go to fseyoutube.com and you can
just
chat with us there. And Christina's looking at the questions. So it's hard for us to follow multiple chat rooms, but we want to provide this everywhere for people to watch. So, all right, cool.
That's cool. I
have a
learned
hair-
something.
That was a good
Hair
question.
cutting question.
'Kay.
Briggs who is from Jersey. And by the way, we have Mexico. We have all of like different states.
Anyone in England?
Not
Or Germany?
that I know.
Brian's looking for
Mexico, Malaysia.
No, like
I saw
there, not-
Texas, Jersey.
Malaysia. That's
yeah.
fun.
I know. So Briggs, who's from Jersey, when cutting layers on fine, lower density hair, would you start your guide at 180 straight up? Or would you, in order to maintain more weight, start your guide lower? Thank you in advance.
Okay. So cutting
These are
late.
kind of questions. These are because you have to.
Daniel, isn't that what you like,
No.
really did on my hair?
Pretty much.
When cutting layers on fine, lower density hair, would you start your guide at 180 degrees straight up? Or would you, in order to maintain more weight, start your guide lower?
It's Briggs, right? You
Mhm.
said. So here's the thing. This is exactly your question is exactly why I love making haircutting videos, because there's a thing that's taught in school where people tell you that if it's this type of hair, you hold the hair here when you're trying to do this. It's like literally 3 steps and that's your haircut. And the reality of cutting hair, I can't give you an answer to that question, because even if it's low density, is it wavy? Is it really curly? Is it poker straight? Now, when you hold that at 180 degrees, it does a completely different thing. Also, if it's super fine and you want layers, what does your guest want? Do they want a really shattered bottom? Because think about, if you hold very fine, like thin hair, straight hair, straight up in the air, and you cut it, it's going to load that bulk into the bottom. It's going to lighten up the top, right? But it's going to make it harder for your guest it depends on the shape of their head. It's going to make it harder for the guest when that hair falls down for them to get volume in it, because you've now taken it, unless you take it really short. So it depends on the layer length. So there's what I'm trying to say is there's 100 different things that go into that question that make it hard to answer, because haircutting is deeper than that.
Yeah, I've actually, for some of my low density, longer hair clients that do want some movement, want some body.
Yeah.
I'll actually take texturizing shears and go in like between like medium to medium long, and put layers in that way. So they're still getting like the length of like the overall haircut, but they're getting some texture that is layered.
Okay.
So that way they.
So what I like about that is that you did add in the fact that of how long the layers were going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So that kind of helps paint the picture of that guest didn't mind having a little bit longer layers, but you were just trying to take some.
Exactly, and it still maintains like the perimeter, so it doesn't look straggly.
Yeah.
But it allows them to have like some kicks and some twists, and to maintain get somebody to remove some of the weight, so that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to give them like huge, crazy Victoria's Secret blowout, but it's going to give them more than what they already had.
Right. So the key thing is wherever you pull hair to is going to put hair in the complete opposite direction. So if I pull it straight up, it's going to push all that weight to the bottom. So it just depends on where you want the weight to be for that guest. So I'm hoping that, as we continue to make videos, these kind of situations will happen. So I've been happy to do a lot more live models lately, because that's the kind of situations that happen, the more salon reality things. But it's really about focusing not only on density, but length, the formation of the hair, where you want that weight to fall. And it's not just about layers and working with fine hair. You really have to dig in to figure out what's going to be best.
Why is everyone looking at me? Yeah.
You always got something to say.
When everybody else is speechless, we look to you.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You're the filler
Fill
guy.
in the blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the filler queen.
David Troy was wondering, why is Paul Mitchell discontinuing XG Shine, or is it just in Texas? And do you like XG Shines? Any thoughts from anyone?
Does anybody know if they're actually discontinuing that?
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say, I feel like that's not the first I've heard
I know. I
of
was like,
them.
I think they are in PA too. It looks like it
Yeah.
on the shelf.
I was gonna say, I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, I feel like XG Shine was just sort of to bridge that gap in America while they were perfecting the color XG. And now that they've got the Demi and the Color XG, like it just sort of has lost its purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like-
alone in this world.
And just so you
Lost.
guys know, this is completely our
Yeah, I'm not.
guess. It's not,
But I mean, it makes sense.
but it
'cause
does. Yeah.
Now that
Color
with
XG
everything
is
that's
out.
out there,
Mickey Bullock is saying it's discontinued too, and he's in DC.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely discontinued, but I don't really know why. And I think that Color XG we're now using.
I think
Yeah.
Jason's probably right. He said out of all the lines he uses, that one's the least with PM, like with the Paul Mitchell, the shines, and the Demi.
And that's
yeah, 'cause
probably
it
it,
didn't
too.
serve
Yeah.
any purpose.
yeah.
Like it didn't have the translucency that I wanted from PM Shine, or quite the opacity that I needed from the permanent line. It was just sort of like a Band-Aid until the
Yeah, I
Color
think
XG
the only
came out.
color that we
Yeah.
kept around for a while was like the 5 VR for somebody because they really liked
Yeah.
that.
But
My
now the
chiropractor.
VR
But now
in XG is like
Yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
better. So
that veto.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Well, I'm also guessing that with the Color XG, it's just kind of like the color where you have your semi, demi, and permanent
Yeah,
capabilities, so you can
Yeah.
kind of make whatever you want.
yeah.
agreed.
Wait, I did see one question from Facebook. Are Thad and Drea siblings?
Yes.
Mind
Drea
Whoa.
Boland and
Yes.
Thad Boland. Yes.
And so are Danielle.
That was
and I.
from Leslie.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Matt only hires siblings, hence us and them.
Nepotism is deep here. Yes.
All right.
Mrs. Stylist Shannon, what is your take on commission stylist having to pay a shop charge for color, shampoo, and cuts? My salon charges me anywhere from $5 to $10 per client who comes off my commission.
Whoa.
That's a
Wow.
lot. Don't get any
Per
ideas.
client?
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Obviously, it needs to be there, but you get scalped.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean,
Gouged.
so
joke.
when we first bought the salon, Chris,
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Good job.
we did have a full chart. Like we just had a percentage that came off the top.
Right.
But not out of your. It wasn't out of the commission. It was off the top
It
of
was
the
off
service.
the top of the services you brought in.
Yeah.
It was like 10%, I think,
Yeah.
off of the top.
Yep.
Total. Yep.
So yeah. So
And
if you
then-
did a haircut, it was $5 charge. Now we don't do that. We haven't done that in a long time.
Now it's just color, right?
So now
Just
it's
color.
any color service.
And it's 5%.
It's 5%. And that's just for color services, not, not off of the haircut or anything else or shampoo or.
I
remember
honestly
when that
don't.
happened.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that
It's a hell of a bump on the paycheck.
It was
yeah.
great.
there-
That's a lot. $5 to $10 per
Per
client.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
place. Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
we
that.
still
She did
do
get
just
rid
the
of that.
5% on total color services for that pay period. Like it's not each client. Like
Yeah, it was, and
I'm
so
also gonna say though, if somebody's opening up a salon, I don't recommend doing 5%. I think
mm-mm.
I think 10%
I was gonna say I feel
off
like
of
10 is-
color services off the
Shh, Drea.
top is more realistic. There's certain things that it's kind of made it difficult because I love doing business programs, but there are certain things that we do here for other reasons.
Yes, I mean once you've established yourself
Yeah.
and you're profiting and your stylists that you have are bringing in more money, then you reevaluate.
Yeah, so I don't want everybody running out there
Yeah.
to their owners and being
And
like,
saying, "Oh my gosh."
yeah, salon gratitude,
But
man.
$5 to $10 per client, that's that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think 10% off color services makes sense from a financial standpoint. You get your money back for the color that you bought, and then I think that that's fair. But
Yeah, because like she said, I feel as though I might as well pay for my own product, and she's kind of right because
Yeah.
at that point, yeah,
she gets charged $3 for shampoo.
okay,
Per
What?
person?
What?
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, I would go find somewhere else.
How the hell much shampoo
Or
are you
start
using?
using a lot more
Every
shampoo.
client $9 for color.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yikes.
That just encourages like stylists
well,
to like
$9
abuse,
for
like,
color.
product.
It depends on the service, but
Well, yeah.
see, that's not like a percentage though. So if they do a retouch, is
Right,
it
the fact that
$9?
Yeah, if you're doing like a glaze on an old highlight versus a full head of highlights,
Yeah,
that whole it averages out at the end of the year. No,
yeah.
that's rude. Time to go look up Sola.
So Yeah, but then you're gonna realize when you start buying your own stuff that it's really expensive. So
Color Bowl Chemist is on.
cool.
Aw.
Remember?
Yeah.
So she said, "Hi guys, I own a salon and lease my space. We have outgrown it in a year. That's
Congrats.
awesome. Still have 2 years left on the lease. Using this time to plan our move. What
Burn it
did you
down.
learn from your move that you can share?"
What did we learn from this move?
Townships are a pain in the.
Oh, yeah, but we knew that.
I would say, I mean,
give
it took.
yourself sorry, Christina.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, give yourself way more time, like with the township, than you think.
Yeah.
Don't tell people
Yeah.
until the township signs off.
Yeah.
I got so sick and tired. Well, I thought you.
So
Look.
Yeah.
I would say stay close to where you are, and if
Yeah.
it's in the same township, that's great. Our town is small, but the townships are divided by the outside township and the inside borough, which is not very big. And we were on Main Street in the borough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that would be one of them. Know that like all of that paperwork takes a lot of time, and adjust to that, and know
And there's
know
nothing
that
you can
and-
do to speed that along. That's just
Yeah.
like when
And
they
also-
choose to do it.
And also
Yeah.
realize that you're probably going to go in with the information that they gave you for what you need, and be told that you missed a step that they didn't even tell you about.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that stuff happens, so prepare for that. And also with state board, maybe give them a holler once you get the papers and things that this is what's going on, because they don't really give you a window either of kind of a time frame.
And I would say another thing, make sure that you don't go overboard when you expand. So like we expanded into this place, but we only did it because we knew we were already overflowing from the other place, and we knew exactly what we could take on. And we took on a big space, but because we had free salon education, and if we were just a salon, we wouldn't have moved into this place. And also, don't go overboard with how much you spend on expanding, like so that you don't have to hire 8 people right away to fill chairs. So then all of a sudden now you have personalities that you don't want in your business. And I think the best way to do it is to grow very slow. So make sure that your current salon can pretty much can handle the new salon first. Even if you have to work people in shifts, I think that that's a better route than to take on something and have to hire just to get bodies in the place.
Yeah, don't hire people to get busy, because you'll end up losing money, and
Yeah.
if you want to pay people
Yeah.
working for you.
Yeah.
Just be aware that no matter how many times you tell people where you're going, you're going to need somebody to give directions on the phone and stay with them until they get to the new location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, financially, I'm guessing that she has all of that in order, because that's a whole other conversation. But
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
if she's
sure.
ready to move, I would think that's
Good for
Good
them.
luck.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right. Where are we at? Should we do one more question? This has been a pretty good show.
Yeah,
A lot of
a
information
lot,
Appreciate
and
it.
everyone's talking about it and helping other people out, giving like their opinion
in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. So I did have one question earlier, and it's actually in one of those, but I don't know which one it is, Chris. It's about a Dyson blow dryer, and I wanted to talk
Oh,
about
okay.
this because,
Did you get yours?
yeah, so
Finally.
So somebody wrote, they asked me about Dyson, and they said, I haven't seen you using your Dyson lately on videos, but I know that you had one. What do you think of it now? So now that we're at this point, I haven't had my Dyson blow dryer because it stopped working. Like it just completely stopped working. We did use it in the
Yeah.
salon.
Mhm.
Me and Drea also shared it for
We
quite a
did.
while, so it got double work.
But Drea found out how we should be cleaning them.
Well, I was
Yes.
going to say, so
So
from
that's the most important
in
thing.
the time frame from when I called Dyson's support system and when I bought my Dyson hairdryer for home, I read the manual and they changed the cleaning instructions for
Professionals.
professionals and in general. So there is a new cleaning method that we are going to be doing with the
With the new one.
With the new one, because I got an earful
Just took
from.
a wet towel to mine today because it stopped working mid blow dry.
That's
I'm
not
like,
how you do it.
it
No,
started
listen,
working again.
Drea got the scoop on
I
how
get
to
it.
I got
clean
the
your
scoop
But when
from
it
it.
stops working mid blow dry, guess who doesn't have time for?
Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. There's a YouTube video and everything from Dyson about how you need a soft bristle toothbrush.
But just so you know, that
Well, then
didn't
maybe they should
actually
supply
happen.
that.
just in case I have to replace mine.
Thad, you don't get everything handed to you.
Well, if it's a $400 blow dryer, maybe they should give you
Brad
the supplies to
No.
clean their
So
temperamental
you need
blow
a
dryer.
soft bristle toothbrush, rubbing alcohol, and if you're using it in a professional setting, you need to be cleaning this every single day.
Oh,
Whereas,
girl. I don't even clean my teeth every day.
Oh, lies.
please
Well,
don't
why
actually
does
say that out loud.
why does
I knew I
this-
could smell something over here.
Why does this $400 blow dryer require so much maintenance?
Yeah, but at the same
But at the same
time,
time,
my
you
$400
spent-
service, I don't go home and wash their hair for them. So, like, you invested the money. Now you got to take care of it.
True. So, but here's the
I'm
thing.
not connecting those
Here's
two
what I
dots.
love. Drea calls them.
And someone pays a bunch of money.
There's a warranty on the Dyson blow dryer. So mine's completely shot, doesn't work. Thought it was done, thought I was over it. This was a week ago.
Yeah.
You talked to them, and a week later, today, I get this in the mail. And here's the thing: I thought this was like a box with like Apple gives you like this box like
Crap
for
box.
your new phone because it's just like another one that somebody returned, right? This is like
Oh,
legit, like
Wow.
and
new.
that's the professional one.
No, it's the white one. There's the picture.
Oh,
No, because
sorry,
I
I
like the white
specified.
one.
Excited.
No, because I was specific on there because I knew Matt liked the white one.
I do like the white one.
I like the
Um,
nozzle.
But check it out. It's like they
That's
just
like-
sent.
That's brand new.
Yeah. So, hey.
Dre got results.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good at it.
So those of you guys that are wondering, I loved the Dyson blow dryer. It stopped working, but it's back.
I still love
It's very
mine.
exciting.
And I've cleaned it every single day with a toothbrush and alcohol. So if it stops working, I'm on record.
Yeah.
Now,
He would like a new one.
now, how do you feel the comparison between that and the handless Paul Mitchell dryer?
Well, actually, so
Ugh.
Oh, the grip.
here's the thing. I like the grip a lot.
I like
I've
it a lot as
only
well.
ever held a blow dryer by the handle.
Really?
That's just how I've
Okay.
always blown dry hair. So I hate using that one because I don't know what to do. I look like such a
Yeah, but
dummy.
where's the actual difference between that and I know that the
It's a hand.
nozzle is like different.
there's a
like,
handle.
But it's a handle and you're using it like this. and
I
the
go
grip,
this
you're
way
holding
and it
like
comes
this.
out this way.
I was gonna
Okay.
say before the freestyle system, I would hold the blow dryer that way.
Yeah, so I honestly think I like the grip blow dryer because I hold a blow dryer in by the nozzle. But I like the Dyson too because it has that same kind of feel and it's short. So
Because like speed wise, like I feel like I have a couple clients that just have like a ton of hair, and I feel like they're roughly the same as far as the timing.
I would say here's the thing. I've never gone on record saying that this blow dryer dries hair so much faster
Oh, see, I
than
think
another.
Oh, I
You do?
Oh,
Really?
I definitely think it does blow dry hair faster, but I think that the grip is probably comparable.
I love how light it is, though.
I was gonna say I can
Yes.
power dry my hair in 7 minutes. I timed it one day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely it's helped me out of some jams this year.
Okay.
Like today was a perfect. My first client was late, so I was so late all day, but I still finished like almost completely on time by the end of my day because that thing just helps rock a blow dry.
Okay.
I was
Yeah, I
gonna
would
say,
The
say
only
between-
time that I've gotten to use it was on Brian last week with his haircut, and we blew it out, and oh my God, it does give like that extra power
Yeah.
and a nice shine
Yep.
to the hair. And I have the grip too. Don't get me wrong, I love that. Like Donna Mizell from Paul Mitchell, learned to blow dry from her. She is amazing. And she always had that truck and trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
used to
that's what I
working with the
learned too.
nozzle.
I was gonna say
So
Dominique, when I blow dry her with other blow dryers, it was a solid 45 minutes to an hour blow dry. Dyson, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say
Get
this-
out, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
She's got.
Yeah.
I would say the
I
Like
want
same.
to
that-
get I want
that
to get
was
her
the-
in Danielle's chair to have her
That sealed the deal for me as
tackle
far
that
as
texture.
okay.
Yeah, I would say the same for Christine, and
Oh yeah,
But the-
she's
but the
another
grip-
one.
yeah,
God.
but the grip does the same. So like I was wondering
Okay.
like as far as like what you've like taken note because I know that you've also used both of them a lot.
I like the price of the grip.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
The grip just makes
Yes.
me want like
you
a
can buy
Subway
4
sandwich.
grips for the the amount of a
and still have enough
Dyson.
to go out to dinner.
yeah, definitely. So for $400, you're not buying a blow dryer that's gonna. I mean,
I think it's
It's changing.
$350 now.
that's $350 now.
Is it?
$350 now.
It's not gonna change your life that much. I don't think compared to another professional dryer, but I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels.
I love it a lot.
I like new technology.
I like the
so
conversations that it
yeah, the
sparks.
conversation's good.
Mhm.
It actually brings up conversation about blow dryers that never happens in
And it-
really any
it-
other way.
honestly,
The grip does because it's different looking, but
I like this because I have so many people that ask me like, well, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And I know whether or not it would be for them because I know like what kind of hair they have, how much they blow dry their hair, which then opens the conversation to no, like you would never benefit from this. But I do think you should be using a good blow dryer. Blah, 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 blah. Here's XYZ.
Well, it was funny because I had a guest who, he was gonna buy one for his wife, and I said, "Well, how much time does your wife spend on her hair?"
And then he realized he didn't have a wife.
No, and he goes, 5 to 10 minutes blow drying it. And I was like, no, like unless you're spending like more than 15 minutes, like I don't think it's worth it. He goes, my daughter spends an hour blow drying her hair.
She gets the good one.
Yep.
So she got the blow dryer for Christmas.
And he got divorced.
I was gonna say, how did that turn out?
No, and it turned out fine, but she's going to college this year, and I'm like, you better make sure that her roommate does not steal this.
She better get a lockbox. for
Liam
that.
Nelson
Yeah.
might be called if
gonna
that,
sell it
that
for
blow
a
dryer
keg.
gets stolen.
Crystal's saying the twin turbo. I totally agree with that too. Twin turbo is comparable like to the Ergo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like the twin turbo
It's like a
dryer.
rocket, but it's super loud.
It's so loud.
It's definitely the best, I think, professional dryer out there. But it's very loud and it's heavy. So it's not really new technology. It's just technology that works really well. So, all right, one more question.
One more question. We had, I guess this was off Instagram.
Yes.
Jordan Cox hair. What do you
Aw.
think is the next big thing in social media? And what can we as stylists do to stay ahead of the social media game?
So I honestly, Jordan Cox is such a cool guy. I think the new thing in social media is not even new, but I think it's the ever evolving thing of social media. So I think what a lot of people aren't focusing on is video on Instagram and Facebook. But Facebook video is like no one's focusing on it at all. Except for people that are really have a lot of followers and stuff on social. They're posting on Facebook a lot. But Facebook's creating a whole program just like YouTube, where they have creators. Like I've already signed up for the creator program. I post videos on there all the time. I make it just as much a priority to post on Facebook as I do on YouTube. And the reason for that is I grew, and I know some of you guys I was talking about as it was happening. I started in June, I think, and within 4 weeks, I grew my Facebook fan page from 5,000 people to 110,000 people just from posting videos. I was getting 10 million views a week
Wow.
on Facebook.
Congratulations.
So you're the
I
next
think
big
if you
thing in
stay
social
plugged
media.
in, well, that goes with then staying plugged in with how they're doing their who's seeing your stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can find that out too, and then this way, you know when all that's going
I
on.
think the
How to cater.
So the video on Facebook I think is a big deal, but also a lot of people waste their time, I think, on certain things. Like they're posting constantly in Facebook groups and stuff. And I think Facebook groups had its time, but I don't think that it's necessarily the thing to do. And I get so annoyed when I see Facebook groups going through my feed anymore. So I think Facebook's going to be catering more. They're creating TV-like stations. The creators will probably eventually get paid for creating content. I don't really know, but I think Facebook right now, everybody that wants to start creating and educating should start doing it on Facebook, and because I think that that's going to be the next thing that's going to get you a lot of people following. On Instagram, I did
You
the
heard
same
it
thing.
here.
Instagram, I stopped posting photos and I started posting 1-minute videos of education, breaking up my long format videos, making them 1 minute, and I grew that to 86,000 people or whatever now.
So personal
So-
branding, basically.
It's just looking at a platform and whatever their new thing is, it's like our son Hayden, he's so psyched for tomorrow because this video game he has is coming out with this new function thing, right? So
hang out with kids.
everyone's going to jump on that thing. When Instagram comes out with their new, if they allow you to now do, instead of 15-second video, 1-minute video, start making 1-minute videos, whatever, because the platforms have the control, right? So they allow people to be seen based on, analytics and all that stuff, right? So if I use something that's old that they've had forever, like posting a photo, right? They're not going to show it to anybody. But if I post a video and they want people to see videos because they're trying to grow a video company, then they're going to post my content to more people than they are if I post a photo. So
And that's kind of like paying attention to all that, how they're using things.
Yep.
But I do think if you do hang out with children and they are into video gaming, you do kind of find out a lot of like how strategic they are with how they're putting things out, giving you a taste of it, taking it away, putting it back out. Like I think that I'm
It's
being
like
so
fishing.
serious. Yeah.
It is. It really is.
No, I agree. Like, there's a little boy that I cut his hair, and he's obsessed with this YouTube channel where it's just this little boy that they video him playing with toys, and other kids are just watching this.
It's one of the biggest channels.
He's one
there
of,
is. He's one of the top 10 most paid people.
I think he's like 4 or something, isn't he?
He's like the 4th,
It's
and
gross.
he's literally like so
He's
small.
the toy reviewer.
He
or
just
what-
opens
what-
toys. And
Yep.
plays
I
with
want to do that.
Yeah, this
I
kid,
love toys.
every time that he comes in, whether it's I'm cutting his hair or I'm cutting his grandmother's or mother's hair, he's got his iPad and he's watching this thing and he's like, "Oh, can I have this?" And it's like, "Oh God,
Yeah.
you don't even have to go to the store for the kid to be bugging you."
Yep.
So yes, definitely ask the kids, unless it's one of those stupid challenges like the stupid Tide Pod thing.
Yeah.
Then don't
We're
pay
gonna start
attention
doing
to 'em.
that.
What is the
Instead of
Tide
a
Pod
Pod.
thing?
I don't get it. It's just
Poison.
dumb.
Should we add that
Dumb
to
as
the
a
game
box
show?
of rocks.
No.
Somebody, Briggs was
like
asking what
Russian
we
roulette.
did with our used mannequins. And I just want someone to go show him our Game of Thrones
Oh, I
head,
wish we
wall.
could.
our wall of heads.
I have
we-
We'll get a really good picture.
Yeah,
this
we'll get a
week.
good picture
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
and we'll share it.
No,
for
before
ya.
we moved, I threw out a bunch of them.
I have to come up with a
And-
remote camera.
Oh, you threw them away?
I did.
He was wondering if we threw them away with a lot of hair still
no,
on
no, no,
them.
no, 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 no,
No.
no,
I was
No.
gonna
But
say,
here's
No,
the
no,
funny
no,
thing
no,
is,
no, no.
I threw them in the trash,
no, no,
like
no,
the
no.
trash.
They
like-
hardly have any hair on them. Hayden
And,
likes to cut them too, so
No.
they like.
No, like I'm talking about. I threw out the destroyed ones, like the
Yeah.
done. Like some of them had melted hair off. But
We use them up.
We use them up. We really do.
Where's the drone?
But
Yeah, we should.
I put them in the trash right before trash day, and we took the trash out the night before, and then the next morning we'd come in before trash would be picked up. But all the mannequin heads were gone. So
People love those things.
people
It's
like
so
them.
weird to watch.
So it's really funny because you would see people dig through our trash can to take out the mannequin heads.
I heard that people
And-
put them in their car, like
so they can do the.
Yeah.
The HOV lane.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yup.
You've done that.
Yeah.
I've gotten pulled over
Oh.
because they were all in the car.
I was gonna say when I lived in Frederick, when the temple would get rid of mannequin heads, there was somebody who had a fence, and at Halloween he put the mannequin heads on the fence as Halloween decorations.
They are
Yeah.
creepy.
Well, I've
Yeah.
done that. I have like a cemetery in front of the house at Halloween. So, yes, I put red hair color all over it and put
Oh.
tape over the mouth and throw it in there.
Well, I have
Scares the
some
crap
more,
out of 'em. It's
some
great.
more for you.
I
It's
put
really
one in
funny,
bed
like-
next to me at night so that I don't suffer from desperate loneliness.
I
Oh,
took off
okay.
down the street and my trunk was still open, and Hayden's like, "Mom, something just went flying," and like there were a bunch of those heads just flying.
Whoops.
Oh,
There's many hairdresser stories.
Christina
related to
wanted people to
mannequins.
slow down on our
Oh my
street.
God.
She put one out in the middle of the
I
street.
did.
Slowed everyone
It's like
down.
slow the hell down.
We were videotaping them. They
It
would
was
come
hilarious.
like just to try to see what it
Their
was.
heads turned like
Yeah.
literally all the way around.
They
They're
would get
like,
so
"What the
mad when they
what
figured out what it
was that?"
was. They'd peel away.
What you need to do is
All
like
right.
sling them out.
But
Brian,
whenever
your
they
mom,
slowed
your
in front
mom
of your
says
house-
hi.
Ew.
She's watching.
Your mom says hi.
Aw.
Okay.
Hi.
All right,
Hi,
so
Mom.
we're gonna pick somebody to spin the wheel.
Yes.
The wheel has some wonderful prizes on it. We have Olaplex. We have free salon education. We'll give you some cool combs and stuff. MinervaBeauty.com, of course. Donald Scott carving comb, Ergo brushes, Mizutani scissors. We've given away already one this year.
You're welcome. I
And
accept bribes. Just
who
saying.
is there anybody else? Sunlight's Balayage. The Bali Box 2.0 is on there as well if you're looking for some balayage lightener.
I
So
think to get out of the way of the wheel, I should probably spin it.
No,
that might
You
actually
keep
make
trying
sense.
it. She's not letting you.
Yeah.
no, it's mine.
Boss man said it makes sense.
I know, I'm sorry, but it's like right there.
I don't even have to unplug.
Do you want to throw the ball?
No.
Drea's so mad. She just lost her job.
That was my one thing.
Wait, who's spinning?
Me.
We're going to get you more things, Drea.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Who am I spinning for?
Oh my gosh.
As I'm spinning the wheel this night. Me, Brian Hare, not Drea Bolin, spinning the wheel for
We'll see how lucky you
splitting
are.
hairs.
Hold on. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I know where I have to place it next week.
Thank you.
No, because it was
Drea's
covering the
like, I'll
barb.
tell you where to place
It was covering my cool barber pole. So I had to
Sweet.
move it.
I'm just saying had to sit at the color bar when I was.
I
not
was
at
back in the
table.
day. Move on. It's season 3.
Okay, who we
Yeah,
got?
sat there with you once.
I know.
How about Say La Vie? How about her? She
Yes.
she
Okay.
had contacted Danielle and she's
Cool.
chatting it up.
Now I want to hear that Bewitched song, "C'est la vie." Remember that? From the
Oh
90s?
yeah.
All right, C'est la vie. Here we go.
We are spinning the wheel.
Give it a spin.
Glad I finally figured out your handle.
Look at that.
Sorry about that.
Look at that new wheel, new logo. What's it gonna be? C'est la vie. Ergo brushes.
All right.
Sweet. All right. Dad,
That's
you
awesome.
nailed
Don't be
it.
mad at me, Jerry. Be mad at Matt.
That's a nice gift.
No, they are awesome brushes.
I love
Yeah.
Ergo. Oh, and there it goes.
Whoa.
No fade out. Very abrupt.
Never mind.
And we're done.
All right.
And that's it. No more excitement.
I'm really happy for you.
Oh. Yeah, nice soft fade. That's that in a nutshell. It's like whoosh.
And we're done.
And we're
Are we
done.
ready? Okay, bye, guys.
And that's
Okay. Now
You know what?
we got to
done.
throw the ping pong balls.
Okay.
Who's going to throw? So you have a choice between Danielle, Brian, Drea. Danielle, Brian, or Drea.
How about Briggs from Jersey?
Yeah, Briggs from Jersey.
Briggs from Jersey.
Okay, so here's the deal.
He can pick anyone to throw the balls.
Yes.
Okay.
So he can pick anyone.
And he'll win
Jersey.
some free
He's going to win a T-shirt.
a t-shirt.
Swag.
Yeah,
Some
Free-
swag.
a free salon education T-shirt. Okay, so
Still on?
he's got to pick. Thad, why don't you get some music going here?
I know. Josie's like, the abruptness made my inner sound engineer cry.
Oh,
Does she want a job?
wow.
I d-
Matt,
I mean, it's-
throwing the balls.
I mean, no, I can't throw the balls.
Oh, Matt
Why?
can't.
It used to be
Briggs,
because you had to
sorry.
do music, but you're not doing music now.
Oh,
I know.
So
I just
technically
like
you
to-
can.
oh,
Oh.
he can. He can.
Okay.
Sorry.
all right,
I thought
all
it was because you had to control something.
right. Oh, come on.
Not anymore.
Nope.
You gave that job to Thad that he's not going to have next
He
week.
said,
Can you
I
please-
pick Matt.
Can you please give him that same music that I had last time?
Just so you know, I didn't practice though.
Oh, right.
None of us did.
Drea did. Oh,
I was bored.
There he goes.
There's that
I love-
music, yes.
turn it up, Thad.
Yeah, get rid of the cool music. Just do that weird farty walking music. Too late.
All right, here we go. Yep, sink the balls. Mm.
Oh, he's going
Oh,
fast.
come
Matt,
on.
come
Yeah,
on.
let's
Let's
help
slow,
Matt.
let's slow down.
You have
Focus
to
a
arch
little
the
bit.
ball.
Stretch this out. Do it lovingly.
Ah.
That was 5?
There's only 4.
I think we need to find a new game because we're all terrible at
Yeah,
this.
we're really bad.
Well, I at least got it. I got it.
How many did you get?
1, but I got it. You didn't get none.
Sorry,
You
Briggs.
didn't.
Yeah, but your episode's not on YouTube.
Now people from New Jersey really don't like me.
People
Yeah.
from Jersey like you. Why are you saying that?
Well, because he was
Jason said so aggressive. You're like,
he knocked over the
pegging
cups,
the
but he didn't
cup.
get any balls in them. It's not
Get it
bowling,
over
Matt.
he didn't go to, university.
I didn't go to college.
He went
so
to
I
hair
didn't-
school, guys. Come
He-
on.
He was bowling.
I
with the
didn't
ping
learn
pong
that
balls.
game. That's set up in my office all day long, and I don't play it at all. I probably should. I'll practice for next week.
I mean, Drea
I'm-
next time?
I also really hate losing.
I know you're so.
So I'm
I would
mad.
be so
Thank you. You just
irritated right now.
ruined
I'd
our
want to
night.
keep going.
I will literally be practicing all day tomorrow.
He just ruined the rest of our
Sorry.
night. 'cause now we gotta
Cancel
hang out with this
everything.
guy.
Okay,
Lena
so
said you just never want to be picked again.
that could be it too. Yeah, that could be.
No, you
Yeah.
don't like to lose.
No, I don't. So we have a couple new things on the shop. I'm just going to talk about them for 1 second. This is a new comb. I think it's the 282. Yeah, 282, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
The 282 flat top comb. I actually use this in a video. If you guys do you do clipper over comb much?
No.
So I really enjoy clipper over comb.
I
Thad,
mean, I would with a sweet paddle
something like
that.
this. So the thing I like about it is really smooth. So I've been using it. It's also the size of the clipper, so it works really well. And unlike some of the other YS Park combs that have a ridge on the edge, it gets caught on the clipper. This one's
Mhm.
flat.
Yeah.
So I really like it. And also, this is a new 254. You have the 232, I think.
Cool. Can I see that?
So this one's new
It's
Uh,
curved.
barbering comb. So getting in tight, and I know you use
Ooh,
combs
nice.
like that a lot.
I do. I use this a lot.
We have to. So what's
Get it right, get it tight.
the drop down though? We'll have that fixed by tomorrow. Because what happened is that you put it up with shop all, but like on the phone, like
Oh, you
it
can't
doesn't
find
have.
them?
Yes. So
Okay.
we'll have it up by tomorrow. That's actually something I wrote down this week to get together with you and
Okay.
fix.
Yeah, sorry. You can't find it on there.
No, if you go,
It is there,
like
though.
if you were on like a desktop, you could see it.
If you
They
hit this, you could hit the search bar too, and you could just put in
Yeah.
YS Park 282, and
Right.
it'll come up. But
Looks weird
we
that
also
you're
have the
doing that on
Ergo,
the
this
table.
new Ergo diamond head brush.
I love that
um,
brush.
This
Oh, yeah.
is absolutely my favorite brush on
Yeah.
the planet. Yeah. So I love it because I
Today
like.
I was like, is that where that brush went? Matt's like, it's mine. So yeah. I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was
I
actually.
was gonna say,
the
Christina,
conversation.
But I
Christina
love that
put-
brush, and
put
thank you
some
for
in the
letting
drawer,
us use it.
and they're gone now.
I only have one.
That's the
So I don't think
conversation
she did.
I had. It was his.
Can we get like
Yeah.
5 more?
Whoever put it there, it was mine.
Yeah.
It was mine. Got it.
But this
But it's
one,
a damn good
yeah.
brush.
So this is my favorite brush because I love paddle brushes. But when you're working with shorter to medium hair, a paddle brush is kind of obnoxious.
Or
like you were
bangs.
saying, bangs,
Mhm.
guys' hair. This has great tension, but is small. So this is like the best brush on the planet. So
It replaced
Agreed.
the 413 in my opinion.
Yes.
Ye-
Well, it's just like with all of us, like that use similar products. When you go up, and it's like, are you done with this? It became that with that brush. It's like, are you finished with this?
remember that
I need
whole like
this.
we have a whole drawer full of brushes. There's only one of these in the building right
Yeah.
now. Christina's got the lock and key on the other ones. They're in the other room.
Smart girl.
'She's got the whole supply. So
Christina, can we get some more?
Because
So now we know
I
where they
ship them
are.
to people that buy them, and then all of a sudden we're out of things, and I get the
and we
emails,
have
and I'm like,
7.
well, I
just laying
thought
out.
we had 5 more of these, but no. Matt
only
came in and
5
grabbed a
stylists.
bunch of combs to go to whatever show, and then I get the emails.
That doesn't
Why don't I have a comb?
She
Okay.
ratted you out.
That's fine. I deserve it most of the time. All right, guys. So that's the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope the sound was good. I think it was. I have a good feeling about it. I really
It was
enjoyed.
pleasant.
I enjoy this part of the week, getting to hang out with everyone in the chat rooms. If you want to follow us on social media, that would be awesome. Follow Drea,
Hair by Dre Day.
Brian,
Hairstyle.
Danielle,
At the hands downs.
and Thad.
That ad gratitude.
Thad at gratitude.
I had
Thad.
to- I had to stop and
strange.
think about that.
It's Thad underscore
yeah, that
at-
underscore at underscore
gratitude.
gratitude.
And then also,
Wait, you have an at in your handle?
Yes.
Is
it's
that normal?
at Thad at gratitude. It's at Thad underscore at underscore.
Otherwise, it'd
gratitude.
be
I
tag
never
gratitude.
realized
He
that.
Yeah.
he
Is
doesn't
that
have an at
work?
sign. It's the word at.
Oh, the word at.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Stop being such a millennial.
I'm older than you.
That's not what a millennial would do. A millennial would be like,
I'm not a very good millennial, so
okay,
I'm not good at being a millennial.
and follow us everything at freesaloneducation.com. Enjoy your week. We have a lot of videos coming out. We filmed a lot of style videos this week, so I hope you guys enjoy them.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
Oh.
so post your comments below. Love to hear what you think of the show. We'll see you on the next one.